in the squadron. They called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And it also makes it very, very difficult for them to acquire nuclear. So I just don't understand why some people are like, you know what? These days, everybody's about everything. Nothing's good enough, right? Possibly it started back with the remote control on television, right? You can the moment you're bored, the moment something doesn't like, you switch. Nothing's good enough, right? We become very, very nitpicky and highly, I don't know, finicky. And I think the world is kind of programmed. The default position of too much of the world is to be, it sucks. It wasn't that great. I had to drive all the way there. No, you don't have to be like that. Amazing things are happening, and even if they're happening on the other side of the world, or you're just a small little picture, attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. You know who said that? Andre Agassi. Remember him? The football, I'm sorry, what did he play? Tennis with the long hair. He was involved with Brooke Shields. In fact, I think they were married. Attitude is everything. You know, I saw something recently where they had people think positive thoughts around a glass of water, and other people in another room think negative thoughts around the glass of water. And they actually found out that there were more electrolytes in the glass of water in the positive thinking than there were in the negative thinking room. Your thinking can have an impact, I absolutely believe, on the real world. And some of the guys last night said that out loud. Some of the fighters I saw at the Ultimate Fighting Championship. It was, wait a second. Is it United Fighting Championship or Ultimate Fighting Championship? Tell me a little bit more, Phil. So, by the way, is it offensive to you that my first ever UFC match, I got to go and sit ringside for the world champion, and I did it right there at the White House, and it was my first ever.
Yeah, no, it was very offensive.
It must be, right?
You just called it the United Fighting Championship.
Well, it's the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I said Ultimate, then I thought that was weird.
Look,
I am not pretending I'm somebody else. I got an invitation from the White House. I was honored to come, and I actually genuinely enjoyed the contest, the match.
On principle, I wouldn't have gone if I was you. Knowing I'm not a fan, I wouldn't have gone.
No. This is the way you interpret an invitation from the White House. This is what we did in the Marine Corps. If you get an invitation from the White House, you treat it as an order, a direct order from the commander-in-chief. No matter how big it is, no matter how small it is, no matter if you think he's going to notice, you're going to be sitting at his table, or you're going to be sitting 2 miles away, you show up at the White House. I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. And there I was, ringside. And I make no apologies. I mean, look, you got a new fan. You got a new and total fan. Granted, Phil, what's up with the punching when the guy's down on the ground and you still punch him? I mean, is this what makes it so popular? This took me a little bit of getting used to, and I couldn't tell. All right, so how do you actually win? Like, sometimes the guy was down and pinned, and yet the match wasn't over. How do you actually thoroughly win?
It's when, like, the ref determines when the fighter is defenseless, when they can no longer defend themselves. So they will hit them until they are not fighting back. A lot of times you'll hear the referee go, fight back, defend yourself. And if they don't defend themselves, they pry them off.
Now, is there a lot of discretion for the referee, or is it pretty much understood?
There are a lot of rules, despite it. Like, people think of it being like a blood sport where it's just no rules, just people, like two big guys destroying each other. But there are a lot of rules involved, and there is the referees get a lot of criticism because they're at liberty to. Sometimes there's a bad call, a bad stoppage, too early, too late, yada yada.
Find that sound effect for 10 seconds. Bam, bam, bam. There's this thing.
Clappers, yeah.
Yeah, what the hell is that? At 10 seconds left. By the way, the round is 5 minutes long, which is like an eternity. It's like, I don't know what the hell happens. There's a lot happens in 5 minutes, and it seems like it's long. And, well, anyway, I thought it was great. Anything you want to tell me about the tattoos that almost all of these guys have?
A lot of fighters like having tattoos. A lot of fighters like having really bad tattoos. Like, I'm sure you saw at the main event, Justin Gaethje, the American guy who won the lightweight championship. He's got his name tattooed on his back. What do you need your name tattooed on?
You
your
mean
back?
straight down his back, right?
No, like on his shoulders across his back.
Yeah, people. I mean, what else are you gonna? I mean, like what would you say is a good tattoo?
I mean, do you need your name, like your own last name, on your back? It's
I don't
like
know.
Like a soccer jersey?
Do I need an eagle? You know, do I need an eagle from one pectoral muscle to the next? I don't know, man. Every now and then I think maybe I'm going to get... Actually, what I came away with is I want to get in better shape. Not only because of the fighters in the ring, but there was like all these big muscled up guys all over the place. And I'm like, you know what? I could probably be one of those guys. You know? I could be one of those guys.
You could be.
And I'm already doing the right nutrition. So all I got to do is throw in some weights and push-ups. And I could be... Who knows? Who knows? I don't want to rule anything in or out. Let's see here. Give me. You have the clip of Mr. White, Dana White, interviewing the guy after he won. All right, that's a very cool conversation that they have. You got it? His name McNichol or something like that. You got it? Bo Nickel. All right. No. Oh, that was Rogan? Huh. He did a good job.
You said he doesn't do a good job because
no, he did a good job in the. I thought he did a good job, but he was not keen about this thing. He kept downplaying it.
There were legitimate concerns. I mean, they got delayed. You were there. It got delayed a bit, right?
A little bit. Didn't matter. It made it more interesting. All right, go ahead.
Patriotic you are. I know how important it was for you to be on this card. How good does it feel to get that knockout right here at the White House?
It feels amazing. You know, first and foremost, got to thank President Trump for making this happen. Thank you, Dana, all the UFC, everybody. This is unbelievable. It takes such a special person to be able to have the balls to do something like this, and I have so much respect for him. I've, had that for a long time, and I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to be a part of it. And I visualized about 100 different ways to finish that guy, and that was one of them, and it worked out, and I'm just grateful.
Hey, by the way, Dana White and Joe Rogan look very much alike.
Yeah,
right?
like the exact same build, and they're bald.
Yeah, it's like it's uncanny. All right, stop everything. We have an Iran deal, and it's great. In my opinion, and the man who has helped us understand this thing from the very beginning, in fact, before the beginning, he told us exactly when the war was going to start to the hour. General Blaine Holt, U.S. Air Force retired. Welcome back, General. How do you feel about this deal?
Oh, I'm very pleased. This looks very good to me. And, we're both pilots. I would call this, we're now passing the final approach fix for final approach.
Wow. All right. So, look, the big headlines that I know, we are going to destroy their depleted uranium, enriched uranium, whatever it is. We're going to destroy that. We're going to take it out of the country. They won't seek a weapon. They won't fund terror. We're going to lift the blockade. The Strait of Hormuz opens, and they can be a regular country again. Those are the big things that I see. Is there anything else?
No, that's big stuff. I don't know how the IRGC, whatever's left of it after the last round, survives this, but we'll probably have to work that out. What I'm very encouraged by is in the last 72 hours, we haven't seen the IRGC do anything other than dial their friends at Hezbollah and tell them to throw a drone at Israel, and that's all that really happened. So looks pretty good. And, I like that we're going to do this on a performance-based system. And I just find it astonishing, Greg, that you have all these people who are detractors of the president, and even here in the face of smashing success, they have found a way to throw rocks. And right now he's with the D7 looking at the 6 other leaders going, I told you so, and you didn't back us up or support us. So now here's your new deal, NATO.
Wow. All right. Now, what about the people? And actually, I learned something the other week, and I trust the people who are saying this, that there is a big gap between what the Iranians say publicly and how they actually behave at the table,
yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. And the reason that is, if you have the IRGC and they don't agree with you, and they're the ones with the guns, then if, let's say, you're in a Ragachi or a Gandabaf or a Pezeshkian, and you say, yeah, I think we're there with the United States, they're going to take bullets to the head. And so, honestly, it's in everybody's best interest that this IRGC thing gets sunsetted. But no, the Iranians do understand this is not a deal. These are terms of surrender, and they are surrendering, but they're all going to do very well in their surrender. So you're not a defeated nation. You're one that's going to be reborn, not out of Muslim extremism, but out of your people, which we're all in the world community eager to welcome the Iranians back into.
Obama goes on TV, he says, no, this is no better than what I negotiated, and people on the left are trying to say that. What do you say to them?
I'm so glad you brought that up, because Obama is saying, oh, no, this is the same. You mean Obama, who appeased them with $1.8 billion in funding 3 terror proxy groups, which created even more death around the planet? The same Obama that was ready to leave them with the IRGC, their Navy, and all their other instruments of power? All that's gone. All that's wiped out. So, no, there are substantial differences, and this one is you never get a nuclear weapon forever. My grandparents or my grandchildren owe President Trump thanks, not Obama.
And that's true. Like, how they never subscribed, they never agreed to no nuclear weapon ever, right? What did the JCPOA say about that?
It's all it did was defer it. It kicked the can down the road. 10 years to start enrichment, 20 years probably they would have a bomb, which was ridiculous, because by my estimates that I saw, and I can't get into stuff that I saw of a secret nature, but what I saw was they were going to respawn themselves fairly quickly, and they were doing it on American taxpayer dollars. So you have Armageddon-bound psychopaths that want to introduce the 12th Imam with nuclear weapons using our tax dollars. Thank you, Obama. What a great idea.
The other thing I think that's driving the left crazy right now is that, President Trump did this. I'm actually noticing, there's grumbling on cable news, but there's also a kind of a awe. I can see that they're kind of like, they didn't see this one coming. They just thought that they could I don't know. Some of them seem genuinely like surprised and in their own way respectful that we're at this point. Have you noticed that?
Oh, you can find that emblematic in Georgia Maloney's comments this morning at the G7, where the same woman who said you can't use Italian air bases for this effort that is going to end in disaster with Iran stands up and says, Mr. President, you were masterful in all of this, and we stand ready to stand by the United States with our Italian Navy. Oh, really? So I guess the war really is over, because now the Italian Navy is going to dip its toe into the water.
Oh, man. And what does this do for I heard President Trump already say he was talking to Putin and Zelensky, I think yesterday, and this sounds like, I don't know, this is somehow encouraging them to wrap up their conflict. Does it have anything to do with the other?
Absolutely does. So now President Trump is at the G7, and I am certain that he just went, Iran solved. Now we're going to talk about your war that you're going to get done now, and you're going to start following my leadership here as well. Otherwise, we're going to start defunding you, Europe, and that's what's going to come next. I believe he's going to off-ramp Ukraine, Russia here pretty quick.
Well, what amazing times. Hey, I want to play something for you. Can you name this airplane or these airplanes? Surprise us, Kevin. Go ahead. I can give you a hint. Do you know what it is?
America's beautiful F-18s of the Blues and the Thunderbirds F-16.
And they fly together very infrequently, right? That's a special thing.
Very special. And what a beautiful formation, and the national anthem. If you couldn't get excited about your country just in that moment, then you really need to read a few more books. Find out what being an American's about.
Here's another one. I was there. I was ringside last night.
Yeah.
It was so cool. Here's another one that I think you'll find a little bit familiar. Go ahead and hit that.
Air Cruise as the bone derived from B-1 is one of the fastest bombers ever built, capable of flying at more than 900 miles per hour.
Whoa. That's crazy to sound at that big. Feel that in your chest.
Well, that guy kind of gave it away. It was the B-1.
And I would recognize that anywhere. In the Air Force, we call that the bone, B-1. And she is as fast as she could be.
That is so cool.
A very formidable weapon. And she can come in very, very low and fast, and still in our fleet. But we do really need to hail in the era of the B-21. We just need to buy it at a much more reasonable price than what we've done before.
And the B-21 is like the B-2, but like smaller, right?
smaller, better, faster, everything better. It's just very, very, very expensive, and we need to fix that. That part of the program needs to get fixed. I get it, super technology. We don't need to pay 80% margins on this stuff. We need to fix that stuff.
General Blaine Holt, amazing. What an amazing day. Amazing man. I appreciate it so much. To be continued, all right?
Always enjoyable. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you, sir. Very, very much. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. Monday, June 15th, 2026.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What? Aren't these nice? I have new sunglasses on, and here's the key to sunglasses, all right? You got to spend significant money if you want really cool sunglasses. Don't you admit that these look great? Don't you admit that they make me look kind of rich?
You look like futuristic almost.
Yeah, rich and a little bit famous, though, right?
Maybe a little bit.
Well, you know, I'm kind of famous anyway, but I think
now you look it is what I'm
it
saying.
enhances
Yeah.
it. It enhances
Before,
it.
no.
They are Prada, Prada, and you know, I'm sorry. Actually, I did learn this from a guy who very well dressed. Basically, he said, unless you can go shopping all the time and figure out what's cheap and when to buy it and that kind of thing, if you're not doing that all the time, you got to buy expensive. And I listened to him, and I have been saving my money, putting a little bit aside, a little bit. I love saving money. I love, like, no matter how much money I make or don't make, I love getting certain things for cheap. Like the cheapest toothpaste I can get. It used to be Ultra Bright. Now, I don't know what my wife does that, but I just love, I love saving money on the generics. The other thing that I like is Wi-Fi on Amtrak. Holy cow. You know, it works. I never knew it worked so well. It works perfect. It works perfectly. You go on Amtrak. You've been on Amtrak lately? What a great service. I know it's not the bullet train, but good people, good times, even good food. No chairs in the car, though, in the dining car.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
So it's the G7 where they are over there, and I got a little bit confused because I see Lake Geneva in the background, and I'm like, wait a second, Switzerland? No, Lake Geneva borders on France. I know that personally. I've spent time on Lake Geneva. Yes, me, both on the Swiss side and the French side. And if you think that's highfalutin, well, just remember Deep Purple and that amazing song Smoke on the Water. It's all about that casino on Montreux, which was on the Swiss side, and it burned down because of that stupid with a flare gun. And that's one of the great rock and roll songs of all time. I heard it last night at the UFC, which again was awesome. Now, I want to just kind of remind everybody the Iran deal is fantastic. Don't believe the naysayers. This is a great moment. Also, that President Trump was at the UFC fight until about 3 a.m. and then got himself somehow to France. I mean, I know he took Air Force One, but still. And I was on the train coming back, and I left D.C. at 8 this morning on the train. And while I'm on my train, he gets to France. I just find that. Anyway, that's the presidency, and it's also him, the durability of that man, the endurance. All right, so here he is with French President Macron. Now he's meeting with all of them over there. And talk about a victory lap for him. Hit it, please.
It'd be a great country to do it, because you never know what happens. But I think it's going to be open, and I think it's going to be free sailing. We do want to see if we can straighten out the Lebanon thing, because it just seems to just never end. And that's a mini version of what we were doing, and it should not be tough. It should not be tough. So Hezbollah, we have to have a little talk with them.
We're going to get that memo of understanding. We'll see the details of the Iran deal pretty soon. He wants that out pretty soon. J.D. Vance is going to be going to, I believe, Switzerland by Friday to sign the thing. And let's hope it holds. But I think everybody kind of wants to put this behind us. And for those who say, I'm sorry, but the force, you're not factoring the force that degraded their military, sank their Navy. We're not going to give them $1.8 billion. We're just lifting sanctions. It's a big difference. It's great. Hey, anybody afraid of artificial intelligence? Don't be. It can turn into your best friend. So I'm working on this thing for months now, and it's gotten very complex, but I got a buddy. So here's this thing. I said, okay, AI, so you think this is the paragraph that we need to revise right now? And I write, again and again, the story of Gavin Newsom, the one he wants to tell, collides with the evidence he himself provides. Again and again, presentation takes precedence over substance, interpretation over observation, performance over self-knowledge. The issue is not simply literary. It is a question of judgment and of self-awareness. Now, I don't like that paragraph, mind you, all right? And sometimes AI will ignore your directions. It's really weird. But it's also kind of cool. So this is AI writing me back. Yes, I do. In fact, I think this is the paragraph we understand best right now. And that's exactly why it makes sense to work on it before going back to the bigger than cable news issue. Here's my reasoning. The previous unresolved paragraph is asking, why hasn't anyone else found this? That's an external question about the media, modern politics, and the way information is consumed. But this paragraph is asking, what is the core defect we're about to demonstrate? That's an internal question about the book itself. And I think we've actually spent the last week refining the answer to that second question. We know much more clearly now what we're trying to say. In fact, I think this paragraph has three components. One, again and again, the story of Gavin Newsom, the one he wants to tell, collides with the evidence he himself provides. This is the thesis section. It is probably close to right already. Two, again and again, presentation takes precedence over substance, interpretation over observation, performance over self-knowledge. This is an attempt to explain the thesis, but I wonder whether it is a little abstract and perhaps a little too essayistic. We've already begun to move away from performance as a central concept. The issue is not simply literary, it is a question of judgment and of self-awareness. But we've also been circling around the idea that perhaps self-awareness is not quite enough either. The emerging thesis is drifting towards something like the inability to comprehend what one's former evidence demonstrates. So yes, I think this is the right place to start. So I come back. This is what I say to AI. Respectfully, I'm going to bet you $1 that it's not going to pan out that way. Let's see who's right regarding this paragraph. Okay, here we go. And then I start critiquing again and again. You keep repeating this, and this phrase bothers me. It's tedious, almost designed to be tedious because the offense it is labeling is tedious. It's also a bit cliche. Presentation takes precedence over substance. I think that is more our critique of Newsom than the book. Or, well, that may be the case, but it doesn't sound insightful or even interesting. Gavin Newsom lacks substance? I mean, a lot of people have picked up on that already, just intuitively. Interpretation over observation? That doesn't seem negative. It seems like it could be neutral or descriptive. Performance over self-knowledge? I mean, what are we here, Buddhists? Also, the issue is not simply literary. It is a question of judgment and self-awareness. It does not deliver the punch, I write. It is too abstract, philosophical. Most importantly, this. The story Gavin Newsom wants to tell collides with the evidence he himself provides. This is kind of fancy. We have to get it right. Then everything else in the paragraph stems from that, or further explains it. That's quite a statement. He supplies evidence and can't make sense of it. But here, we are compressing it to just one line. It needs to breathe. The reader needs to understand this one thought thoroughly, and the rest of the paragraph should do that, instead of dinging him for being a style over substance kind of guy. And this is what AI writes back to me, and this is why it's so cool. It's like a very smart friend who is somewhat naive, and you can tell it to do just about anything you want. So this is what AI writes back to me. You win the $1. That paragraph does not pan out. Your note is right. The good thought is buried inside the one slightly fancy sentence, and then the rest of the paragraph wanders into abstract labels: presentation over substance, interpretation over observation, performance over self-knowledge. Those sound like themes, not charges. They don't make the reader see the problem. The real thought is simpler and more damaging. And it just goes back and forth, and we have these debates. And it's actually good-tempered. It has a sense of humor. It really does. It made me laugh out loud. It makes me, and I make it. He says he laughs out loud at my jokes. This is getting ridiculous. It's getting a little bit ridiculous. But I tell you what, when I first broke this thing out for a little bit of help, I thought, okay, great. I'll use AI. It's going to make this 4-hour project go by in an hour. All right, that was 4 months ago. It has just blown it up. And now we're bringing it in for a landing. Yes, Mike. Hello. Mike in Wayne, New Jersey.
Greg, how are you?
Good.
Real quick, I thought it was the off-key comment that the writer made about Michelle Obama. I don't know. I didn't dig it too much because it kind of puts our president in a tough spot, no?
You know, these are real people. They say earthy things, you know? We're not going to get uptight about it. You know?
I'm not...
No, I'm not saying you're uptight. Well, I mean, you know, people say real things. This is the, this is what happens when you bring real people into your house. They're not politically correct. They're going to and some are going to be elegant. Some are not going to be so elegant.
I get it.
It's a mixed bag.
I get it, but it kind of does in a way because, now they're saying, look, he's not condemning what he said and puts him in a tough spot.
Not really. It doesn't put him in a tough spot. Look. You think about all the stuff they say about President Trump, yelling, jumping up and down that he should be put to death. You think about what Obama did. Forget about what somebody said. Obama tried to sabotage his campaign for president in 2016, his presidency once he won, and then they worked all over again throughout his administration to trip up the administration, to sabotage it, to stop it. And the deep state, he stayed in Washington, D.C., pulling all the strings. He did. And he got caught. So sometimes we got to worry less about what people say and more about what people do. So I hear you, Mike. Thank you. Let's see here. Mike, the other Mike in New Jersey. Hello.
Hi, Greg. I want to talk about my two favorite guests. Blaine Holt is an amazing guest. He makes you feel so much better about what's going on and cuts through nonsense. The other one is Joe DeGenova, and I cannot wait for him to call you and tell you how he burst everything wide open down in the Southern District of Florida.
Well, I got to keep my distance from him now because he's working, inside the government, and in part because of all the wonderful conversations we had. I think it came to President Trump's attention just how good this guy was and how creative and how committed. And so, I look forward to talking to him once his work is done. But hopefully his work isn't going to be done for a couple of years because there's a lot of work to do. But thank you on that. Yeah, I agree with you. That's why I have him on the most, Joe DeGenova and Blaine Holt. Thank you, sir. Let's try one more. Gerard. Is that Gerard or Gerald? Hello.
No, Gerard. Yes, sir. I'm surprised you took my call.
Oh, wait a second. Why would I be... Wait, were you the wise guy? What happened to you? I forgot. Why? Yeah, what happened? Why did you get on my wrong side? What happened?
I'm generally a wise guy, but not with you. I wouldn't be so bold because I need your help. I grew up in Hicksville. My dad was a transit cop for 20 years. I graduated from Fordham. I'm a friend of Bill.
All right. That's nice. What do you need?
I need you to listen to a song that I have.
Oh.
Yeah, not now. I need to speak with somebody. I was clear with the person who answered the phone. I need to talk to somebody or have a good email that I could send you this next great American anthem, sir. I wouldn't waste your time if I didn't.
Why don't you just put it on YouTube or put it on social media and we'll find it. America will embrace it. You don't need any radio station. I mean, we could help, but why don't you just put it out there?
It's out there, sir. It's out there. It's been out there.
What's so good about it?
Well, it's a sing-along, and it tells the American story, good, bad, and ugly. I bet you if you listen to it, you'd get the chills. And I can hear the stadium singing it during halftime in the future. I'm telling you. It's the national anthem, then God Bless America, then Proud to be an American, and then this song, if you listen to it, I'm telling you, you can help us get it out there. On Mr. Kelly.
Well, I mean, we got. I just. What's your social media? Tell everybody your social media where we can find it. We'll find you.
I love it. At Gerard NYC on Instagram, and the song is called 99% of Me, streaming on all platforms.
All right.
99% of Me.
Wait. All right. At Gerard NYC?
Yes.
With the G, Gerard, right?
Gerard.
All right. You see, you helped yourself. You already put it on all the platforms. And let's tune in. At Gerard NYC. The 99% what?
The 99% of Me is the name of the song. 99% of Me, and we are the St. Mark Saints.
That song's trying to be a lot of things. It's the same
No,
song.
it's one thing. It's one thing, sir. It's a beautiful American sing-along. Wait till you hear it.
Do you play an instrument, or you just sing, or what's your talent?
You know, I'm multi-talented, but I'm the singer, and I'm learning to play the guitar. I'm the singer in the band, sir.
All right. We'll see what happens. At Gerard NYC. At Gerard NYC on all platforms. Thank you, Gerard. Good luck with that song. All right. Should we find it? Well, no. Yeah. Look at you, you big radio executive. You know what I mean? That may work in the sticks, but this is Capital City. No, we'll see. All right. Thank you, Gerard. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What an incredible night. What an incredible morning. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's good to see you again. Did you get any sleep?
You know, I went to sleep at 3:45 a.m. and like most New Yorkers, woke up asking myself, did that really happen? People have been waiting for this for 53 years. And there have been so many heartbreaks, so many near misses, so many years, every year where we've told ourselves it's the year. And for it to actually happen now, I mean, there's nothing more we can ask for as New Yorkers.
How about safety? What is he, in middle school, for crying out loud? Yeah, you're so happy about your home team and you get away with it? You get away with that? He gets away with it. He actually gets away with it. The city was on fire. Hey, the Knicks won. That's great. I got work to do. I got places to go. People want to commute. They need to get back to New Jersey. They don't want to be afraid to go to the Port Authority. School buses were incinerated on 8th Avenue in the middle of the biggest city in the country. You know, this stuff had been seen before in, a little bit Chicago, Los Angeles. We had never seen it here. We had a robust, professionally run police department. And then a couple of people came along. First, de Blasio. De Blasio, what a scammer. First, he pretended the NYPD was broken. And then he pretended to fix what wasn't broken. And then he managed to actually break it. And then we put in the ignorant doofus Eric Adams, who just wanted to party all night long, right? Had no clue. He appointed one lame police commissioner after the next, right? How many did he have total? 5? Until the powers that be told them, we like this person. She gave a nice speech at the Chamber of Commerce, Jessica Tisch, and she is, for some reason, given plum jobs in each administration. Why would that be? Anybody want to guess? Rich kid. All right. Sorry, but it's true. And now that's the police commissioner. She has no idea. Did you guys see the footage? Did you see it? I mean, it was beyond. I've seen. I saw it. I think it looked like Hezbollah opened fire. That's not what happens. And I get it. Yeah. Wow. The Knicks won. And I know that there's all kinds of studies about people acting up after their favorite team wins. I don't really get it, even though I read the studies. They still go nuts. A lot of them are on cocaine. I don't understand whipping. I saw somebody break out a whip and start whipping a taxi cab. Some sort of sexual thing. Is that a fetish? Is that a kink? Sex with cars and you whip them first? Or throwing a stop sign like a Frisbee right at the grill of the school bus? Does that get their motor going? What about the MTA bus? That poor thing, it's just buses breaking the windows and all of it, and 85 people on top. I saw a city bike. I saw one of those stupid city-issued bicycles on top of the buses. And Mamdani is just having a good time. And no accountability, no pressure. What we saw, I don't know if you've seen it, it's been swept under the rug. Because, I don't know. What do people feel like they owe this guy? I saw a little of it. Media, those who rely, I guess, on chronicling what officials say, They live in fear that officials will no longer talk to them. Oh, no, I have to report what the mayor said. No, you don't, actually. He's one guy. The city government is 300,000 people. Multi-billion dollars. There's malfeasance. There's corruption everywhere. Yet almost all of political journalism is in New York City. What did the mayor say 5 minutes ago? It doesn't matter. You don't need him, her, whatever. And Jessica Tisch, she goes from Commissioner of Technology for Bill de Blasio, Commissioner of Sanitation for Eric Adams, Police Commissioner Eric Adams, and now Mandami, Police Commissioner. You think you could be mayor with this resume? You think it could be governor? Might as well just do a good job. But this is the thing. We know it from the burning car. She doesn't know how to. We have a woke police chief. People appointed because of their gender, because of who they know, not what they know. Classic case. Classic. And she has the nerve to go on social media. Oh, a small number of people, but our cops did a great job. The cops are poorly led. There's nobody leading them. And I don't see that problem going away anytime. I don't know. A cultural revolution. Not a bad one like the Chinese, but a healthy one. We need one. I saw a banner yesterday at the UFC fight. Fighting is in our DNA. Is that true as Americans? I guess so, right? I guess so. All right, got to get out of here. Making some videos for tonight. 800-848-9222. Put that away till tomorrow because I can't really take any more calls. However, I will speak briefly to Robert in North Carolina. Yes. Is he there? Never mind then. Eddie in Babylon. Yes.
A question for you, the great Greg on the radio. Love that you have 3 hours. How did you start doing impressions? My mother had a Midwestern voice. Eddie, how are you? How did you start doing impressions of people? Because you do some great ones, Greg.
Thank you. The first impression I did was of my commanding officer in the basic school. And for whatever reason, I thought about him. I drove from Quantico, Virginia to New York, Garden City, and I kept trying to impress him because we had a mess night coming up. Not to impress him, but to do an impersonation. And by the time I rolled into Hempstead off the Southern State Parkway, I had nailed it. And I'm like, wow, it just happened like that. So it takes about 5 hours of energy and effort, preferably when you're driving. But that's the first one I ever did. And I'm going to increase my repertoire. Thank you. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. All the best.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?